championship. Now, her team went down, but ultimately this year, hopefully they can bounce back. Now, that is not stopping her from landing big-time shoe deals like Nike. That is not stopping her from her agent, Clutch Sports, who I still believe Caitlin Clark should have went to. Rich Paul keeping her name alive. And as of right now, to me, Juju Watkins is still going to be the biggest star in college basketball without actually picking up a basketball. But here's the only kicker. Will she be the same when she come back? You know, coming from a big-time injury like that, dealing with ACL.
Juju Watkins has become a massive topic recently, especially after some comments popped up about Caitlin Clark. Honestly, this whole discussion is shining a huge spotlight on the incredible talent emerging in college basketball. And let me tell you, Watkins stands out as one of the most captivating figures we've seen in a long time. People who've actually watched her play describe her as absolutely exceptional, with everyone predicting she's going to completely dominate the professional league the second she makes that jump, probably shattering a ton of records in the WNBA. But here's the crazy part. Some really challenging news has just come out as the college basketball season gets closer. Reports are saying Watkins might actually sit out the entire 2025-26 season because of a super serious knee ligament injury she got during last season's tournament run. What a blow.
Back, you know, coming from a big-time injury like that, dealing with ACL tears and stuff like that, could that alter her performance in the basketball game? And as of right now, we just don't know. Now, that being said, Juju Watkins is currently going viral, man. She did an interview with Sports Illustrated. I believe this was yesterday or maybe day before yesterday. I don't know. I came across this post. Shout out to Krista over on Twitter who shared this. And this is what she had to say. So they can never make me hate Juju. She's chill. Juju hella chill, guys. I'm telling you. And like, that's what get me.
She was absolutely pushing hard for a national championship win. Out of nowhere, disaster struck. But even with this huge physical setback, the endorsement opportunities are still absolutely pouring in for her, including a massive contract with Nike. And get this, her representation through Clutch Sports and Rich Paul is keeping her visibility super high, even while she's recovering, which some observers are pointing out as a much smarter agency choice compared to what other elite players might have. The biggest question mark now, though, is whether Watkins will ever truly get back to her previous explosive form after such a devastating physical setback, because honestly, knee ligament injuries can have huge implications for an athlete's career, leaving a lot of uncertainty about what her future capabilities will be on the court. On the hardwood.
Hella chill, guys, I'm telling you. And like, that's what get me, man. Like, people are always trying to start these feuds, like how Paige was, you know, like, I don't have nothing against Paige the person. I just got stuff against the refs and how they treat Paige. You know, Paige is awesome. You know, and so for all these people to try to make these battles between like Paige and Caitlin, Paige and Juju, guys, we got to separate the basketball from the person. Similarly like YouTube, you know, you got to separate the content from the person. You know, just because somebody does something a certain way or do something a certain way on the basketball court or in their profession, don't make them a bad person.
Okay, so let's talk about some recent viral moments, like a Sports Illustrated conversation where Watkins was actually breaking down different basketball skills. When they asked her about specific attributes, she named a bunch of players for their strengths. And guess who kept popping up? Caitlin Clark, who got mentioned multiple times for things like ball handling and performing under insane pressure, while Reek was noted for accuracy. Chelsea got props for her physical power, and Asia was acknowledged for her long-distance shooting. That constant appearance of Caitlin's name really just shows how widely recognized her elite status is among current players, which naturally brings up that ongoing conversation about these sometimes manufactured rivalries between top athletes.
Make them a bad person. It's just how they ball or how they go about it. But let's listen to what Juju had to say. Let's roll it.
Probably Enrique. Accuracy. Probably Caitlin. Handles. Chelsea. Strength. Brittany Griner. Range. Caitlin. Clutch. I'll probably go Asia.
So, yeah, she had Caitlin on there more than everybody because she know, just like we know.
We all know the comparisons are constantly being drawn between Paige, Caitlin, and Juju, but these competitive narratives often totally miss the mark, right? Athletic competition exists completely separately from personal character. Someone's approach to their sport absolutely doesn't define who they are off the court. Honestly, the basketball world really needs to do a better job separating professional performance from individual personality. Now, totally shifting gears, the WNBA Championship Series was getting a ton of attention around this time, with the Las Vegas squad squaring off against Phoenix, and pretty much everyone was predicting a complete sweep favoring Vegas.
She know, just like we know, Caitlin is the sugar, bruh. She is definitely the sugar. Now, a lot of people is talking about this game that is coming up, I believe, tonight. Tonight is the night of the WNBA Finals, man. And a lot of people feel as if the Aces is about to sweep them. I feel the same way, too. It is what it is. But a lot of people...
Now, this is wild. Commentary started swirling around one specific Phoenix player, DeWanna Bonner, regarding her team transitions. People were pointing out how she left one franchise, only to find herself on another squad that was seriously struggling in the finals, leading to a lot of social media chatter suggesting that maybe, just maybe, poetic justice was at play. But beyond all that drama, another really interesting conversation was happening. Comments from Sid Ko, who was discussing her experience as Caitlin's teammate. She talked about discovering all these different facets of Caitlin's personality, her sense of humor, and all the lighter aspects that weren't always visible to the public. You have to understand, the immense pressure facing these young athletes entering professional basketball with unprecedented fame, huge financial deals, and sky-high expectations creates truly enormous challenges.
It is what it is, but a lot of people it's kind of making fun of DeWanna Bonner. Now, here's the thing. It says, so DeWanna Bonner quit on a fever only to join a team that would quit in the finals. At least her Korma's still a good shooter. Break them out, y'all. Korma is going to be in the building tonight. Definitely is. Shout out to Tyron, who be tagging me in a bunch of stuff, man. I appreciate you tagging me and stuff and showing love. But yeah, man, tonight is tonight. You know, we ultimately know.
Learning to somehow balance immense leadership responsibilities, relentless media attention, and top-tier athletic performance, all while still developing as a young person, requires some serious mental fortitude. So when Caitlin faced time away from active competition because of physical setbacks, maintaining those crucial team connections and her vocal leadership became absolutely essential. Injuries, believe it or not, actually present opportunities for growth in other areas, even when physically contributing is impossible. You can't overstate the importance of staying engaged with teammates and continuing to build relationships during those tough recovery periods. Basically, preventing a season from becoming wasted time just because you can't physically compete means finding other ways to contribute and truly develop as a leader. Sudko specifically highlighted witnessing Caitlin's playful, cheerful demeanor and watching her just enjoy moments with teammates, aspects that honestly didn't get much public visibility during previous seasons.
You know, we ultimately know it's the game that is set to go down, man. The Las Vegas Aces playing against the Phoenix Mercury. They not even finna win a damn game. I don't believe they're going to win a game. That's just my theory in itself. You know, yeah, man. It's really ain't a bunch of news going on right now, man. Hopefully more news will come out as we get closer to the end of the WNBA season in its entirety. We ultimately know
Look, these lighter qualities absolutely deserve more recognition and celebration because the human side of elite athletes often gets completely overshadowed by mere statistics and highlight reels. Now looking ahead, roster changes seem pretty inevitable for various teams as business decisions start taking precedence. While certain players definitely bring positive energy and great character to organizations, professional sports at the end of the day ultimately revolve around one thing: winning competitions. So, contributions really need to translate into measurable results on the court. Some personnel moves appear likely heading into future seasons, though of course these decisions remain speculative until we get official announcements.
In its entirety, we ultimately know that. Oh wow, Caitlin. Oh wow, that's another story. Oh, it is speaking.
Getting to know her, her humor, and seeing firsthand all that's coming her way.
It was cool being on a team with her, getting to see her in another light.
was really cool, I think.
Wow.
The basketball landscape, let me tell you, just keeps evolving with new young stars emerging, established players facing wild new challenges, and teams constantly making strategic adjustments. Whether we're talking about college prospects, athletes recovering from injuries, intense professional championship battles, or the personal growth of athletes navigating an unprecedented spotlight, this sport just provides endless storylines that are totally worth following. Now, the basketball season has officially concluded, and while memories will eventually fade, there's still plenty, and I mean plenty, worth discussing about what actually transpired. The moment won't be forgotten just yet, not today at least. The celebrations are absolutely continuing for what turned out to be one of the most ironic storylines of the entire playoffs. Remember when Alyssa Thomas basically directed her comments toward Indiana supporters, declaring she competed for an authentic squad?
I'm gonna celebrate at some stage, but yeah, this was still the funniest thing. Where you've got Alyssa Thomas here calling out, or basically shouting at the Fever fans she came to play for a real team. Scream, say that she went to play for a real team. You know who I call the real team? Do you know the team that I call the real team? The team that fought.
Yeah, that statement has aged remarkably poorly, and let me tell you, that's putting it mildly. The real question here becomes, which organization truly deserved that authentic label? Seriously, consider the franchise that battled relentlessly throughout every single contest, the squad that persevered, regardless of the circumstances, no matter what. Indiana demonstrated incredible resilience, no matter which players suited up. Even without Kelsey Mitchell on the floor, they continued competing at a super high level. That team...
The team that fought no matter what. The team that didn't matter who showed up on the day, didn't matter if... Heck, it didn't even matter if Kelsey Mitchell was there. It didn't even matter if Kelsey Mitchell was there. Kelsey Mitchell didn't have to be there. Even when Kelsey wasn't there, they were still fighting. They were still hooping. Like, when she wasn't there, they were still killing him. And obviously,
look, when Kelsey Mitchell was there, her absence didn't stop them from performing well. But naturally, having Mitchell available completely changed everything, since she carried such a huge offensive burden. Whether Clark was active, Mitchell was sidelined, Boston faced foul difficulties, or Cloud's minutes fluctuated, this team consistently gave maximum effort. And that, my friends, absolutely defines authenticity in basketball. The championship, as we all know, belongs to Las Vegas, though honestly calling them victors seemed totally unlikely for most observers. Honesty requires admitting nobody predicted their title run.
Killing him. And obviously, look, when Kelsey was there, it was a different story, because when Kelsey was there, she was their offense. And when Caitlin was there, if Caitlin was there, Caitlin wasn't there. If Kelsey was there, Kelsey wasn't there. If Aaliyah was in foul trouble, if Natasha Howard was on or off the court, they gave their all and they competed no matter what. They competed no matter what. I call that the real team. I would call that I'm not going to say they're the real winners.
Following that absolutely devastating 53-point defeat on August 3rd, when they were sitting in the 9th position in the standings, expectations for them were, let's just say, minimal. Their adjustment period after acquiring Smith through trade included some serious struggles, even dropping multiple contests to Indiana. Championship predictions for them were practically non-existent. Acknowledging this reality cost absolutely nothing. Many analysts completely misjudged their potential, and honestly, there's no shame in admitting that miscalculation. Nobody, and I mean nobody, anticipated Vegas capturing that trophy.
Like, the Aces, nobody thought the Aces were going to win the title. Let's be very honest. On August the 3rd, when they had just lost by 53 points, they were currently, if I'm not mistaken, they were the 9th seed. Nobody thought they were going to win the title. Nobody did. Like, they really struggled. They struggled for a little bit after the Alyssa Smith trade. Like, they'd lost twice to the Fever.
Whether they could have navigated through Minnesota or New York in hypothetical matchups remains totally uncertain, especially considering New York's consistent dominance over them during the regular season. Maybe with various injuries affecting opponents, different outcomes were possible. but that's just pure speculation. But Alyssa Thomas's declaration about representing an authentic organization becomes particularly amusing considering how Phoenix actually exited the postseason. Their head coach, get this, received an ejection during the finals. Thomas's individual performance also fluctuated dramatically, though she nearly achieved history with what could have been the league's inaugural quadruple-double, an absolutely unprecedented statistical accomplishment that, to be fair, absolutely deserves recognition.
And nobody thought they were winning a title. Absolutely nobody did. And it's fine. It's fine to admit that. It's fine to say it, like, yeah, you know, we kind of underestimate this team, because I did. I absolutely underestimated this team. I'm not going to pretend that I didn't. I'm absolutely not going to be there and pretend like, oh, that I expected the Las Vegas Aces to win.
However, the broader context here matters tremendously. Phoenix did secure that victory over Indiana, but they were trailing by 12 points, which honestly makes Thomas's tough demeanor seem a bit premature. That particular game ultimately went to Phoenix, but the playoff picture tells a totally different story entirely. Some might argue Phoenix advanced further in the bracket, but again, context matters. They faced New York after Stewart suffered her injury during the opening round, and let's not forget, before Stewart's injury even occurred, Phoenix was actually trailing in that series. The Las Vegas Aces winning it. It's just,
and I didn't think they were gonna. I thought they were gonna make the finals and the playoffs, but and I still don't even think they make the finals. Coming through the other side, facing the Lynx or even the Liberties. The Liberty just kept beating them. But at the end of the day, whenever it was injured, maybe they could have. But Alyssa Thomas there, play for the real team. How did her team go out? Their coach got chucked. She was.
Look, their performance was horrendous at times, but let's reflect positively for a moment. The players' determination truly deserves credit. They mounted some incredible comebacks during games.
Horrendous at times in the finals. She did nearly have a quadruple double in the finals. She did nearly have the first ever WNBA maybe was it the first ever WNBA quadruple double? I think it was the first WNBA quadruple double. Like, that's one of those things. Like, she's out here with getting quadruple doubles. But at the end of the day, I just love seeing this.
But during elimination contests in games 3 and 4, waiting until the fourth period to finally show urgency while trailing by 17 points, that just demonstrates incredibly poor execution. And honestly, falling behind by 20 points during the second quarter of a decisive fourth game, then completely imploding, reflects extremely poorly on playoff readiness. Phoenix's legitimacy as a squad isn't what's being questioned here, but after making those specific comments about Indiana, then experiencing such a disappointing conclusion, comparisons become absolutely inevitable. Judged purely on how their seasons concluded, Indiana demonstrated far more authenticity than Phoenix showed during their final series. The whole situation, regardless, provides some pretty fantastic entertainment value.
I just love seeing this. I love seeing this right here, play for a real team. Always love this. They were acting tough for being up 12 in the hospital fever and they lost this game. Yeah, let's not forget that. They lost this game. They lost this. Not only that, they lost this game. Someone said team that made it further than you. Oh no, like, they made it further because, you know, they faced the injured. They faced Liberty after Stewie got hurt in the first round. By the way, before Stewie got hurt,
they were down, and honestly, watching Thomas and Coach Nygaard experience this outcome carries a certain satisfaction, especially for those whose preferred teams didn't capture championships. When your squad falls short, witnessing your opponents suffer defeats brings, let's be real, genuine joy. This absolutely represents fundamental sports fandom, supporting your favorite teams while simultaneously celebrating when rivals stumble. Sports passion includes both deep devotion to preferred organizations and fierce opposition toward their competitors. Both elements drive engagement equally. This particular scenario clearly falls into that latter category, making the playoff conclusion especially gratifying for many.